Hi, my name is Gottlieb. I'm a graduate student and researcher with the Forest Biology Department here at NCROC in Grand Rapids. We focus on improving trees through things like increased growth yields as well as disease resistance. Minnesota holds approximately 1.4 million acres of tamarack. It's more than any other state and about half of the tamarack in the lower 48 states combined. As of 2019, eastern larch beetle has affected more than 1/3 of our tamarack stands and has killed about 140,000 acres. That's approximately the area of Lake Mille Lacs. Today we are going to discuss the eastern larch beetle and ongoing research efforts in an attempt to mitigate the damage caused by this native pest. This is the adult eastern larch beetle. In order to verify an infestation, the bark is peeled off of dead trees to check for feeding galleries caused by the larval stage of the beetle. In late spring, the adult beetle emerge and bore into the trunk of the tree. They travel vertically to feed, mate, and lay eggs. After the eggs hatch, the larvae eat their way horizontally through the phloem, creating the feeding galleries. These galleries then cut off the tree's ability to uptake water and nutrients, eventually killing the tree. The prevailing theory of why the eastern larch beetle is becoming such an issue is the more mild winters and longer growing seasons that we're experiencing with climate change. This is allowing the beetles to produce 2 generations per year, which has never before been observed. I will now pass you off to Andy to discuss possible genetic resistance and ongoing research here at the University of Minnesota, NCROC.
Hi, my name is Andy David, Associate Professor of Forest Genetics, Department of Forest Resources, located up north here in Grand Rapids, the North Central Research and Outreach Center. You just heard from Jared, my graduate student and technician, about how devastating larch beetles can be to our native tamarack population. One of the things we're interested in finding out is if there is any genetic resistance in our native populations that's inherent to those trees in tamarack that helps them survive this larch beetle infestation. We are now in a breeding arboretum of tamarack, European larch, and Japanese larch. Originally, we established this about 30 years ago to archive our breeding population for crosses that we make to do, improved growth, height, diameter, things like that. But now we have an opportunity to use this breeding arboretum in a different way. As the larch beetle moves into here, we'll be able to differentiate its impact on different species. And hopefully we'll be able to see whether or not there is natural resistance to larch beetle in these other species. That will give us a clue as to whether tamarack has more resistance or less resistance than some of these other very closely related species. So what else could we do? Well, with enough interest and a little bit of money, we could collect cones out of those natural areas and then grow them up as seedlings to test for resistance to larch beetle and have a true sense of how much genetic variation is in our native populations.